Katniss is like, what is going on? Like, what,
Right.
like, I know he's really cool, but like, what?
I know, like, he's awesome
Aren't
and
we
like
all supposed to
super
be killing each
good,
other?
but
Uh,
take two of book two. Maybe that's kind of
yeah,
fitting.
take two of book two.
Take two, book two, Catching Fire.
I had a better time with this one. Not that I had a bad time with the first, but I had a better time with this one. Read it a lot faster than I did the first one. I think just because I couldn't put it down. And yeah, you can see that in my like note taking and in my places that I dog-eared that it just kind of drops off like towards the end because I was just in in the book. You can really note kind of the difference in how she paced it this time and like the
Hmm.
setup of um the games not starting right at the beginning, kind of as they did in the Hunger Games, and you get more of like character development and background information on more of the districts and the political turmoil that's starting to happen before we just jump right into kind of the action,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
I liked
Me too.
better than I think I probably did as a teenager, although I can't really remember.
I
Yeah,
remember thinking this book was so much slower,
yeah.
and I wouldn't have said this was better or I preferred this one when I was a teenager, but for sure as an adult, I think I preferred this one. And I remember thinking it was so slow as a teenager, but now, like you were saying, as an adult, I like kind of flew right through it. And I found it interesting. The same thing happened to me. I had a lot more notes, especially for the first like two-thirds of the book, and then that last third is
Hmm.
the games, and it feels so short, but so
Hmm.
much happens in such a short amount of time, that yeah, it was like I can't even bother to take a note right now. I just need to like kind of finish it because it's
Hmm.
so intense and there's so much happening.
Hmm.
I agree though. I think it's a pretty perfect second book, especially in the sense that I do really like that you get more character development and world building. I think this book is definitely designed to be a little bit more world building and talk more about the political situation of Panem and Katniss's huge transformation and metamorphosis since
Hmm.
her being in the games and now all of her differing thoughts. Katniss really in the first books is so like obviously she hates the capital, but I think there's still a real sense of fear and like a sense that nothing's going to change anyway. So Gail, like you can kind of rant in the forest, but like be
Hmm.
real, like you have to
Hmm.
kind of figure it out and be quiet when we're in the district versus in this one pretty early on. You get in her head as she's dealing with her trauma from being in the games and kind of seeing the shift in the districts. And there's so much more little hints that things are starting to change, and then she herself starts really to change and really start believing in
Yeah,
this
I
rebellion.
noticed that change too of like she's pretty like not passive in the first one. Um
She's more
like
just like
that's
trying to survive. Like
yeah, like
she's
she's
just like
just a
not
little bit
worried
more
about
like
anybody else really.
focused on a smaller circle of care.
Yeah, her family.
Yeah, and the greater aspects and effects that the
Hmm.
capital has like are kind of like too big to deal with, I think.
Absolutely.
Um
Which is super relatable.
mhm.
I don't know if she would have changed had she had not been in the Hunger Games and then did the victory tour, which we get to see, because
Mhm.
that's really where, things start changing for her. She
Yep.
starts seeing that, she's had an effect.
Right, exactly. It's interesting that as her capacity for care on a like grander scheme grows, we also start to see how um much more dark the world that they're living in
Hmm.
is,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
in the like beginnings of political turmoil and political unrest. It feels like certain points were like hitting too close to home
Oh, absolutely.
sometimes. And so reading it now versus reading it as a teenager when I didn't have as much knowledge
That's exactly it.
of the world is yeah, is rough sometimes.
That's why it's so important though. Like, I mean, as a teenager, like I definitely didn't make these connections of the political turmoil that's going on in the book to necessarily our world and our country. I think I was just more, I'm more invested in the characters and what's going to happen with the quarter quell. But I do think those ideas do stick with you. I think that's kind of the power of reading and being able to like introduce the idea of what does justice look like? What does empathy look like? What does different political environments look like? What should they look like? What should they not look like?
Hmm.
Um, you can get, I don't know, I feel like it just shapes your worldview, even if it's kind of subconscious.
Totally. Yeah, I think there were like a couple sick to my stomach feelings. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
even just as like a wow, I can see this happening in our world today, but just that like wow, this world that she's living in is so dark. Which is on the victory tour when she's in District 11. Uh and the people there do that like small act of resistance and that man gets shot. um I think which is also one of Katniss's like big eye-opening moments of
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
this like what I do is going to
Has
affect other people
implications.
and I need to like kind of get my shit together.
Yeah,
And
like I
like
need to decide where I stand on this because
exactly. Yeah, for
it
sure.
matters.
Like on their way there, I think it was to District 11 where she was reflecting on how the district looked like from the train,
Mm.
and just that it was like honestly very like prison like,
Oh,
if
yeah,
I'm
like
remembering
huge
right, like
walls.
yeah,
Yeah,
where she was
yeah,
like, oh, people are like experiencing things a lot different
yeah.
from
Like
District
it makes
12.
our
And
little fence look so
yes,
tiny compared to, yeah,
exactly, which
absolutely.
is I think another area where Suzanne Collins was tying a lot of, you know, things that we have going on here
Yeah.
now.
It
But
definitely starts, it seems to like she sees all of this going on the victory tour, and then she comes home and we have that huge change in power too in her district where
mhm,
the people, the peacekeepers who were, still peacekeepers, but were kind of a part of their community, are then removed
mhm,
and replaced with like tenfold the amount of them who are a lot more corrupt. And I think that too, is like a huge turning point for her in trying. And now her little world of her caring for her family and the people around her has kind of broadened because she's like, well, now it's the people, it's the seam. I mean, they
mhm,
blow up the seam, like it's been
mhm,
now affecting more of the people around her. Her scope becomes a lot bigger.
totally.
And in the same breath, I did notice again with her scope becoming bigger, I had noted a lot more in this book. My heart just melted with her letting her mom back in
Mm,
and letting her mom take care of her.
mm,
I don't know why that just hit me so hard because I know, you're in her head in the first book where she is so detached even from her leaving.
mhm,
She's don't cry, like don't cry for me, take care of Prim.
yep,
And then in this book she really kind of lets her back in, and I just kind of love that growth. And I know
mhm,
it's not super realistic to every relationship, but I just think for how important Katniss's circle is to her, I think that's a really big step for her to let somebody else care for her, um,
totally. Yeah.
versus
That's
her being
actually
the one
really
who's
funny
caring
you
for
say
everybody.
that because I have, I think at the like probably the exact same spot in the book, I had written like I'm having a really hard time feeling like sympathy for Katniss's mom. And like I had a
Yeah.
like I think by the end of the book I kind of had that same feeling of like, you know, there's a lot of like growth here and
Hmm.
love that she's opened up for her mom. But I still was like, you still kind of suck.
Oh,
You
I
still
know she
kind of
does,
like
absolutely.
you
I
still
just
kind
liked it
of
for
like
Katniss.
yeah, totally. Yeah. I
Like a
just like I
closure for
think
her.
the like eldest daughterification of Katniss like really irritates me sometimes, that I'm like
Yeah,
she's really had to do everything and like hold her family together,
yeah,
and she's like
for
a
sure.
what 17-year-old girl, like
Hmm.
she shouldn't have had to do that, especially with like a living parent. And like obviously there's a lot to say there for like what grief does to a person and a mom, and like
Right.
especially in that world. And like so I can't like completely fault her, but I still, I
Hmm.
think just because of my own personal relationships, just have a hard time being like,
Yeah.
you need to atone a little
Okay.
bit for what
Oh,
you've been
yes, for
doing.
sure.
Yeah,
I do I do, yes, I do agree. And objectively, I 100% get that. I just
yeah,
appreciate it for Katniss as like a way for her to like at least not have another gaping wound. Like
yes,
having to deal with the trauma of reliving those games in her nightmares. I was like, at least she's can kind of just
yep,
move on
yep. Like there's
with
other,
that.
there's bigger fish to fry here.
Yes, yes. I was glad to see that she wasn't,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
stuck in her resentment, I guess.
exactly. When there, yeah, there's like kind of other things she needs to be thinking about.
I'm still kind of annoyed that they cut Madge as a character because she's still in this book.
Yeah,
And now I'm like kind of curious, does she show up in the third one? I kind of forget.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not
But
sure.
I am kind of annoyed that they cut her because I feel like that's a huge part when they're at the mayor's house. I forget what she's there for, but she's at the mayor's house. And when she sees in his office
Yeah,
those government videos
yeah,
talking about the rebel, that's like a huge
mm-hmm,
scene for her. That's
totally,
also another glimpse into outside of her scope of what how her actions have
totally.
really large implications. So I'm kind of I don't know,
Yeah,
I'm annoyed that the movie cut Madge.
yeah, same. I think something I was thinking about as far as the differences between the movies too, that you kind of touched on was like there's a huge sense of community in District 12 in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that I think I remember writing this down after Gale gets like flogged in the
Yeah.
central square and like
Yep.
different people from the community are like running over to help, whereas in the movies it's just kind of like Katniss's immediate family. But there's a couple
Yeah,
of people that
absolutely.
come over and like do things to help him. And yeah, it was like when you were talking about them blowing up the seam and like how
Right.
Katniss like really, that was really upsetting to her. Um that like yeah, there's such a greater sense of community and like um people working together in District
Yeah.
12, and you don't get any of that in the movies, and it's just kind of
No.
completely centered on Katniss and her like immediate people. Um and I think that kind of takes away the power of community action and like
Hmm.
small acts of like resistance that I
Yeah,
think that
absolutely.
this book kind of tries to like highlight even throughout, like even into the quarter quell with like all of the victors working together. Like
Hmm.
it's kind of like small little pieces happening, but um none of
It
it
all
would
adds up.
yeah, none of it would happen if people
It's
didn't work
crucial.
together.
Okay, this is gonna we kind of have to like go back to go forward a little bit here.
Mhm.
So another thing that I don't remember if the movie has or not is those two characters, Bonnie and Twill, that she meets in
Yeah,
the
no.
forest,
Mm-mm.
and that they have the Mockingjay on the bread. And that's kind of, I mean, I believe the Plutarchs watch what the Mockingjay happens first, and then she
No. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then so now so we had two bits of like okay kind of foreshadowing Mockingjay like she means
Mm-hmm.
something. So I was kind of annoyed that that got cut out. And then similarly when she comes back that's when they turn on the electricity
Mm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
can't get over the fence and that bit of community she's like super injured but trying to hide it. She had to like scale this tree and
Yeah.
fall 20 feet or whatever.
Yep.
But as soon as she enters the house her community she's like something's up, something's
Mm-hmm.
not right, I can tell by these people around me, and she just knows them so well
Mm-hmm.
and they know her so well that the lie is just so seamless of
Yep.
like the peacekeepers were fully expecting her to not come back.
Yep.
um and just how easily I just was like mind blown by how easily they could silently communicate because they know each
Mm-hmm.
other so well
Mm-hmm.
and that they could kind of pull off this kind of elaborate lie of her not having
Yeah.
been in the forest
Yep.
without any sort of prior conversation about
Mm-hmm.
this. I just think that speaks a lot to yeah how well they know each other given that their
Yeah.
life has been so stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote that same sentiment when Peta's talking to Caesar before the games and he like drops
Hmm.
that she's pregnant, and I just wrote
Yeah.
in the margins like everyone she's surrounded by is so smart. Like they know exactly
Hmm.
like kind of how to play this to their
How to
advantage
react
and
in the
how
moment.
yeah, exactly. Like everybody they're working together, but also they're taking really like intelligent steps individually to
Hmm.
like I don't know. And it was cool to see too like the sense of trust that had built between Katniss and Peeta because like it was
Hmm.
the second time he'd kind of dropped a bomb like that in those
Right.
interviews, and this time he comes out from it and they meet, together, and he's like, "Okay, what do I have to apologize for?"
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
"Nope, you're actually all good."
Nothing.
Like
Yeah.
there's like a sense of trust here, so I don't need to like question, what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
was like cool to see that she just like paralleled that between book one and book two, and like
Yeah.
the
Huge
big difference
bonds
between Katniss's reaction
for
between
sure.
those
I know
two.
the first time she like hit him or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like actually injures him, and then this time
Hmm.
she's like, "It's okay. I understand now. I understand where that's coming from." Something that was interesting too was this when they were on the when were they rewatching the games?
I think it was in the training center.
I thought it was so interesting getting the tiny glimpse of Haymitch's games and then
Hmm.
having read that whole book. I'm like, oh my
Yep.
gosh, that was wild.
Yeah.
I thought that was
It's
interesting.
so cool how she like took that and expanded on it like
Right.
years later.
It was fun as a tie-in having
Hmm.
read that book and not having read Catching Fire in a long time. So
Yep.
going back, I just thought that was really cool. Speaking
Um,
of Haymitch, what did you think of do you have any memories slash what did you think now at the reaping? Because obviously Katniss is after the announcement of this quarter quell, all the victors are going to be reaped.
yeah.
Obviously, Katniss is being reaped.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on the Haymitch versus Peeta? What did you want to happen? What did you think was
Mm.
going to happen? I'm just kind of curious.
Um, I mean, I feel like I was kind of with Katniss of like, there's no way Peeta's not. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like angry with her, at least at the start, where she's just like, come on. Like I know Haymitch is not gonna like let me get my way with this. Like if Peeta gets picked, like he's probably gonna let Peeta go because Peeta's gonna have made some deal with him, and then if
Mm-hmm.
Peeta volunteers, he's gonna step aside. Like, so I think I just felt this like the sort of dread that she feels of like
Mm-hmm.
we're going in again, and there's like it's gonna be really difficult to save him, and like I can't really be mad about Haymitch at Haymitch about that, but like this situation just sucks.
Yeah, you can feel for all three of them in separate ways. Like, obviously, going back into the games is horrific, but also being outside of the games, having to watch those two people that you love go
Yep.
into the games, also horrific. So, there's
Yep.
no winner in this
Yeah.
situation, I think.
Maybe the last thing that I like really was kind of amazed about before like training center time was Peeta's paintings. Completely
Oh,
forgot about
yeah,
that. That he's just
same.
like using those as a way to like
To
work through
cope.
his trauma. And
Hmm.
I think like there's lots of little pieces that I kind of forgot from both books, but that was like I feel like a big one where I was like, yeah, I don't remember that at all. And
Yeah,
that feels like such a like special moment and adds so much to his character. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
and I just like appreciated that Suzanne Collins just kind of used it as like a um like we need artists to help us,
Hmm.
get through
Yeah, the art is a tool. Yeah,
yeah, to get through like hard times in life and in the world. Like we just need people who are trying to make sense of it with their talents. And yeah, just like makes me love Peta that much more. That he's just
I
like
know
he's
this
like
this
he's
book.
so like
Oh,
sweet and tender.
like right as we go into like the train and the training center and everything, I was devastated that they didn't get to say goodbye
Mm,
to their families. That was like
yeah.
for me, you know me, my family is like everything to me. So like
Hmm.
the that was one of those moments that I did. I felt like sick. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
You didn't even get to say goodbye like that.
Yep.
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I
That, yeah,
couldn't.
that's just the worst. Like, just the worst feeling. Like, and also just like
Horrific.
having, like, you're going into this situation that is already so terrible. There's tiny little pieces of like places where you feel like you can hang on to control of like, okay, well, at least I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get this hour, however long. I know this is happening because I already went through it. And then that also gets ripped away from you. So like you're in even more of an unknown. Like, no, yeah,
The horror.
horrible.
I just was like I couldn't. I was
Yeah.
like, this is horrible. Like I think I remember even read like speaking out loud. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't believe she didn't get to say goodbye.
I know.
Oh gosh.
Well, yeah, and she has every intention of like never coming back. So it's not like she,
That's exactly. It's
it's
even
not,
worse.
yeah, yeah, right. Like she's
Because
like,
she
well,
says, she's like, in the first time, I know, well, at least I'm going to try to win. I can maybe come
hmm
see you again. This
hmm
time, she has no intention to try to win.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Ugh.
Very tiny detail that was killing me throughout the whole thing was for some reason Katniss like loves soup. Like she constantly in like at the
Yeah, that
the
lamb
victory
stew.
dinner and then every time on the train she's like,
Yeah,
oh, I just love this like
she's a
soup
soup
they're
girl.
giving me. Like,
She's a soup
girl,
girl.
like you've been starved your whole life, the thing you're like focusing on is soup, I
Can't wait
guess.
to have. Okay, on that same note of like
Mm,
weird things, I have a dumb question. I should
hmm.
have just Googled this, but I'm gonna ask you. On page 267, it says my eyes home in on, like HOME. But I always thought the expression was hone in on.
Same.
But maybe I'm just dumb. Like maybe that's just one of the sayings that I've been saying wrong my whole life.
No, I'm pretty sure it's hone in on with an N.
Okay, I hate that. My booty seems to be piled at the 20-foot high mouth.
Okay.
She's talking about all the weapons of the cornucopia,
Yes.
and she says, my eyes instantly home in on a
Oh
golden
yeah, I do
bow
see that.
just in arm's reach, and I yank it
Home in
free.
on. Hmm. I guess
But
you
are
could
we
say it.
dumb?
No, I guess you
Like,
could
are
like
we dumb?
my
Home
eyes
in
instantly
on
home in
versus
on.
hone in on.
You probably can just say it either way.
This is also AI overview, so it's
Yeah.
probably wrong anyway. It says use home in on to mean focusing or moving toward a target, like a homing pigeon.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Mm.
While hone in on quotes sharpening is common, it's often considered incorrect.
Oh,
But that
interesting.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
formal or precise writing, stick to home in on.
Oh,
For sharpening a skill, use
home.
hone your skills.
Ah, okay. Well, the more you know.
Actually, what I did forget, their act of rebellion in their training center moments. PETA with the
Oh,
painting of,
yeah.
forgot about it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The
Yeah.
symbolism,
Yep.
loved it. And Katniss being
Yeah. Yeah.
the Seneca Green dummy.
Uh-huh. Those are both so good. The two things that I like kind of kept commenting on throughout is like the interconnectedness of everything. Um, I mean, the community aspect is part of that, which continues on into the games of like all of the
Mm-hmm.
victors being super pissed about having to go back in, and then like
And the
how
Capitol
you,
being pissed.
and how you eventually realize that like a good chunk of the victors are all working together to like get them
Mm-hmm.
out and do this like rebellion.
The
Um,
amount of times PETA's life is saved by other people
yep.
is
And Katniss
wild.
is like, what is going on? Like,
Right?
what, what? Like, I know he's really cool, but like, what?
I
Like,
know, like he's awesome
aren't
and
we
like
all supposed to
super
be killing each
good,
other?
but
Uh, but also on that note, in one of the final chapters, I was noticing too how like even though it's all the victors who have all won and killed people, they keep subconsciously or consciously forgetting that they're supposed to be killing machines, and they're
mm-hmm.
just like having a good time together. And they're like
Yeah,
swimming and, helping each other out, and
absolutely.
like there's moments of laughter, and like I was just like that's really like nice. And I think that you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't really get that with like all new contestants
For sure.
I mean, obviously it's different because there's like a rebellion happening, and so they have to like kind of build that community and trust. But also, I think they just kind of can't help it because they're just like in this
Hmm.
ridiculous situation that they're all pissed about, and they all know each other, like at least for the most part. They're like,
Right.
this is stupid. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna die, like, I might as well just,
Finding moments of joy is
yep,
like an act of rebellion in it,
yeah,
of itself. Yeah, I
totally.
love.
I know it's crazy, like how stressed everybody like must have been on the inside that knew about it,
Oh my God.
and they're just like trying to pretend that everything's
I
normal.
mean, yeah, and then to be fair, at the end, when like the wire gets cut, like shit hits the fan,
Mm-hmm.
and they still manage to pull off a pretty
Yep.
epic,
Successful. Yeah. Fairly
yeah,
successful.
fairly
Um,
successful. Oh,
but I just can't really fault Katniss for being like so pissed off.
no.
In no way was I supposed to live from this. Like, I don't want to be
Right.
this thing
And
that
then
you have.
she's the one that gets saved.
Yep,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. Yep.
Yep. Oh,
When you see PETA doing all those like sweet and tender things, even in the games, like with the
right.
locket and, getting her that pearl,
Yeah.
just,
And she even mentions how it's like like she tells herself in the book, she's like, yep, I'm going to be a martyr. Like she has decided that in me not coming home, the rebellion doesn't end. Like I then become a martyr, and PETA's better with words. Like PETA can
right.
like use this sacrifice of me to be able
Yep,
to ignite something even larger. So I'm sure
exactly.
in her head too, that's all disappeared. Like she thinks,
Hmm.
why would you save me? I know
Hmm.
I'm a symbol, but I
Yeah,
can't do what PETA can do. So
right.
I can imagine all of
Yeah,
that on top of the fact that he's
yep.
gone. I mean, just horrible.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about in like a different universe if like PETA had been saved and like to see if she
Mm-hmm.
was right, like if he could have been like a mouthpiece for it. But
Right.
I think that they made the right choice. It's just hard
Yeah,
to see
absolutely.
PETA get taken.
And I kind of forgot that his heart literally stops. Like he's dead.
Yeah.
When he hits that force field, he's dead.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Like the fact
crazy.
that she was even, like she put her head on his chest where she's so used to hearing his heartbeat, nothing, and how his breath is silent after you've just been panting. I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's like that's such an intense visual, and just like it brings you right in there and to like think about had they not had this alliance that she didn't even know about, so many times this man just would have been dead, but he
Yep.
was actually dead.
Yes.
Like that's different than him getting hurt or injured or
Right.
say,
Yeah.
that was wild to me.
Yep. Okay.
I feel like this whole book was just a kind of chaos in like the
Yeah.
best way.
Yeah.
Like there were so many moving bits where it
Hmm.
was just from the beginning to the end. I That's why I think we went so fast through it, because it was just like there's so many moving pieces. I just need to figure out how it all comes together and what's going to
Hmm.
happen.
And then it's just a mad dash to the end.
It is.
It really, I kind of
I'm
can't get
so
over
excited to
how,
read the next one.
I know, me too. I really kind of can't get over how short the actual games are in this one. I kind of like really
Oh, I
like it.
know. Same. And
It's
like with
so
the
short.
clock thing, not them getting like attacked by this and then 30 minutes later attacked by this and 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yep,
these poor people get no break.
I know.
But it keeps you so like,
Hmm.
oh,
I
engaged and
remember
invested.
thinking that was like the coolest thing ever when I first read it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when we finally
Like
figured
that.
out what was happening, I was like, oh, that's such a good
So
idea.
cool. I know. So cool.
Yep.
Oh, I
Um,
had so much fun with this book. This
hmm.
was honestly, I loved the first one. This
Hmm.
one even blew it out of the water for me, and I'm
Yep.
really excited to see.
Yep.
Remember, I have hardly any recollection of what happens in the next one other than the main part. So I'm really excited to see what
Me
happens.
too. I'm really distracted how much I look like a ghost right now. I keep
You kind
looking
of
over and
look,
I'm like, and we're doing Mockingjay in January, right?
yeah. Oh my
Cool.
gosh, I want to start it
I
now.
know. I'm
We'll see.
excited.
We'll see.
Tune in with us to read Mockingjay in January.
Mockingjay.
Thanks for chatting.
30 seconts.
Oh God.
The countdown is
Oh.
on. I feel like I'm in the tube having to go to the games. Poor Senna, R.I.P.
Rip. Rip, Senna.
All right.
Okay.